Alright guys, I got the hazmat suit on. Kind of show you guys how we're going to take this piece of the top off. We're replacing this piece of rigidity here with that piece we just welded on, and I'm having to grind these welds off, and you take a sawzall blade once you get them close and hammer them down. That way you're not messing up your metal, or you're messing up as little as you can. We can go back with a block and hammer and dolly that out. So I just want to show you guys what this looks like. There we go. So there's our piece of rigidity that bolted down to the back of the cab, and here's our released piece of cab. So now I'll go back, put these over on the vise, or excuse me, on the anvil, use it as a dolly, and I'll hammer all these pieces where we put the side on of it back flat. Just like that, and that's what we'll be doing. Alright, so we've got the top pulled off. We've got all the pieces of metal off of it. We've got it prepped to go back on. However, we have to bend the pieces that go here. And I've bent a few pieces and made a lot of mistakes, and I think I've got to where I need to be to kind of show you guys how it works. Here's our pipe bender, and I'll show you how you get good at using this pipe bender. You make a lot of mistakes. So those aren't mistakes. They're 90-degree angles. I thought I needed 90-degree angles, and that's what I get for thinking. I didn't think I needed 90-degree angles. I needed less than 90. So you guys are going to see how this whole thing works. So here we go. So this is a Woodward Fab, very expensive pipe bender, and here's how it works. Put a big ass cheater pipe on it. You go real slow trying to bend it, because if it ever comes off, you're going to wind up on your back wondering what happened. Ask me how I know. I got a mark on I got a mark on here that kind of shows me where to stop based on trial and error. This mark here is a 90. This mark here is the angle that we need for the cab, and I just pull it until it lines up with this, and I stop there, and it's always a little bit more, so then I pull it till daylight goes through the little slit there. So that's, I'll show you guys that's how we bend it. We're going to do some stuff on it. So here's how you get it off. You beat the snot out of it. On the internet, there's a bunch of guys dropping about how hard it was to get off. If you're a redneck or a caveman, it really ain't that hard. So here's where we're at, and that's pretty close. It just needs a little bit more. So we're going to finish up on it. We're going to use this little spot right here. There's a little hickey on it where the stop is. So we'll make sure we put it back in the same spot, and we'll make sure we get the same bend. Alright, make sure everything's right. Like I said, you don't want this thing blowing off and sending you flying. We're going to put it just a little bit more. Right there. Best part about this is if you mess it up by a little bit, you go over a little bit, it'll spring back. So you guys didn't get to see none of that. Well, alright. And there we go. That is how you do that. She's laying right in there where she's supposed to be. So there's one. We need to make 1, 2, 3. Need to make 3 more just like that one. So that's what we're going to do. 3 more just like that. That looks pretty good, y'all. I won't say we're getting good at it because Murphy will kick us square in the chin, but let's just say we didn't waste a piece there. Yahtzee. 3 for 3. Alrighty. I do like them. I'm sorry. Let's go this way. Alright, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's get that piece put up there and get it mounted up there. Start turning for the top. Alright, it's the next morning. We're back out here after the roof. Yesterday you saw us bending the pieces for the top. I got the top screwed into place where it's going to be to kind of hold it. And then now I'm starting the process of what I would call imperfect geometry. So I'm trying to figure out how we're going to land this thing with a taper this way and a rake that way, and I really don't know what I'm going to do just yet, but I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse and let you watch me figure it out. So thanks for sticking around. We're going to see if we can get this top framed in today. I'm going to show you guys how we're doing this. So we're going to be level because we want to have the most headroom in the cab back here and then above my head because I'm the tallest dude here. We're going to take and bring this level to here. Then we're going to rake it down and catch that corner down there. So I've got this lifted up here the right amount to where it matches the very back, so that here in the center we can cut our ribs, which is what I'm doing here. This rib has the right taper because we already checked it against the back, and that's what we're going to use to build the cross beam to go across over to there, and then we can build this piece here in. That's coming up from the back, putting middle pieces in and picking that off. That's how this is all going to work. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the thought processes that goes in, because you can see here how goofy that looks with that taper coming in and everything, but we're going to try to make as many straight pieces as possible. So that's kind of the method of the madness here. So I want to kind of show you guys what that looks like. Alright, so we're sitting flush with the outside there, coming to the middle here, and we are what we call dead nest level there. So one down and 4,050 to go. "51 inches. 51 inches. Hey guys, well, I did a little bit of work off camera to kind of get a feel for how these things were going to go. I didn't really know what we were going to do, but I did get a fair amount done so that I know how to move forward. I went ahead and made this bar going across here that's going to set the height for the flat part of the cab that doesn't have a taper in the back. So I showed you guys when we were building this how we were going to bring it up and make it level. Well, now it's level. As you guys can see here, I'll show you. All right, here's all of our goodies out of the way, and it is level that way. And then I built the first rail coming up off the back. Now it doesn't have to touch that cab perfectly, but as you guys can see, it's pretty daggone close. It's close enough for government work. So I'll show you guys where we're at, level from back to front. Okay, so we're level here as well. And then where we added these 1, 2, 3 curve pieces, that's going to set the curve for the outside. We're level, fairly level there too. So long story short, I'm tuckered out for the day. We got a lot done in the last 2 days. We got this back wall set, and I've got a pretty good scald on how we're going to get the side set. I also am fairly certain of how we're going to take care of this taper here on the front. So I'm going to take a little bit of time off here, and I'll catch you guys in the morning. We'll probably start working on this other side. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick here. Sometimes I get to working and I don't think about showing you stuff that I learned the hard way. So this mark is 19 inches. And you guys can see I got the mark on there, and it goes all the way around nice and square. Well, one of the lessons I learned along the way is once you mark your 19 inches here, right here, you mark your 19 inches, you set this up, line it up here, like that. Then you make your mark. Okay, you make your mark and then you're good. If you're going around this way, you're going around this way, when you get over here, your light will be off by I don't know how much. So whenever you start, make your mark, get that one done, and go over here, make your mark that way. That way you're splitting the difference on your screw up. That way whenever you get over here and make your last line, you'll notice that 9 times out of 10, if you did your marks, you know, close to right, they'll line up perfect. But if you run it around the corner, you'll be off by maybe 2 pencil lines. So I wanted to show you guys that just a little quick, something that I've learned the hard way to maybe help you guys get those perfect lines. That way whenever you cut it, it lays right in there perfect and you don't have to fight with it, as opposed to having to clean it off. And then if you cut it too short, you got to go again and blah, 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 blah. All right, so we're ready to cut this one and get it welded in, and we'll get the last one, and I'll kind of step back and show you guys where we're at. All right, one other thing to show you guys. Same thing kind of applies whenever you're making your cuts. If you have a cut disc on like this, and you line up on that top line, and you bring it straight up down on that bottom line on one corner like this, like that, yeah, it's in there nice on the lines, you can just go ahead and roll that thing on down and cut it almost all the way into it, and know that you're going to land in the right spot because you followed the lines. All right, let me just show you guys what we're talking about here. So I didn't pull up and remeasure. I just went all the way through. You guys can see we're pretty close to our lines here on the back side. Whenever I get ready to go through, I'm just going to follow this line up so you guys can see that's nice and square, and you guys are seeing it for real. Let's see if it fits. And right on in there, just like it's supposed to. I wish it was a little bit tighter so I wouldn't have to hold it, but it's there. So all right, let's go ahead and get that sucker tacked in, and we're one more closer to being done. Now y'all get to see me being a tightwad. I've got a bunch of little pieces up here, like this. I got a little bunch of little pieces like this and like this that I've cut off. This one here is just a little bit short, so instead of going and cutting one of the big long ones, I'm going to just take this one here and make one more like that. So you guys get to witness me being a tightwad, but I'll show you kind of how I do it to put 2 pieces together to make one. First things first, do a little bit of weld prep. All right, got some weld prep on there. Take your 2 ends, put them together like you want them. Grab something to keep it from moving around whenever you put the scald on it. What you want to do is make sure you got it all lined up. I use sense of feel to make sure that they're all lined up going that way. Alrighty, so I'm just going to spot weld it right here on this side. You guys over here. You guys can see what's going on. Got it all lined up as best I can see. Try it again with some juice. 1, 2. All right, so that's spot welded on that side. We can't do it like that because it's got the weld on it. So we're going to roll it over here like this. I can see it's got a little bit of a hump in it, so that's good that we did it that way because this will pull it back down. Watch how much that comes down. Scoop. If you don't do this, you'll have a bend in your piece of pipe. I'm going to go ahead and weld this one all the way. A bunch of little zips. So here's a little, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I'm going to put a little bit of this underneath that. We're going to try to bend it back before we weld that other side on. So she's a little bit wonky, so I'm going to use this with that little bit of space right there to pull her down. All right, so I've got her pulled down to what I think is fairly straight. I'm going to give it just a couple more just for good measure, and then I'm going to go to town on it. And that heat and that weld should level it out. What we got here. That's pretty daggone good. Yep. Let's lay the grinder to it and see what we did. Yep. Looks like I missed one spot. And since this is the long way, we can't have that. Alright. Now, once we put some paint on that, it'd be like it never happened. And when you look at it that way, I don't know if you guys can see, it's straight enough for what we're trying to do here. So that's 9/16, 19 and 9/16 if you want to get it just dead on minutes. All right, just like I did it before, I came straight down that line. And it lined it straight up with that other line. So if you do that, that's how you make sure your cuts are really nice. And then you use that blade in there like that. It can't go, it can't wiggle. So use that in a line to come on up and roll on around. She's tight. Might be a little too tight. No, this end's a little. I didn't clear that end. You guys can see that end's a little goofy. Alright, true that end up, it should slide right on in there now. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, hot, see? Do some of that welding stuff here. Contact. All right, so how do we figure out what this angle is and what we want to use? So what I like to do is, if I can find a tape them, measure them. There they are. We're about another 1.5 inches. So we're going to do 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. And then we'll come up here and we'll cut it. So we're going to take a piece, we're going to make a cut at 1.5 inches and another cut at 1.5 inches and then bend it and see kind of where we're at. And then once we get this right, we'll do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll weld the piece in the middle. Just picked up a piece of scrap off the floor here. Got my trusty pencil here. So I know I'm going to leave it a little bit long because I got to get whatever angle that is. So I'm going to go a little longer than 1.5 inches. Then I'm going to come 1.5 inches from there, which will be right there. So that's where our vents are going to be. So we're going to come up here and draw a pie cut here and there. And it needs to be pretty significant because we're going to bend that a long way. So we're probably going to cut that out like that. And this is going to have to bend pretty good, so we're probably going to cut that out pretty good like that. We're just shooting from the hip here anyway, so we're using a piece of junk, so if it doesn't work. We got to cut a little bit of that bend out of the bottom here. All right, we can make that work. And that makes our second bend work. Y'all see that? See if we can get you guys where you can see. All right, so. All right, so I got that flush, and that's going to land right there, and that's going to make this one here land about where we want it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out. It's going to be damn near a 90, so I guess I'll go ahead and just set that up and cut a 90 out of it. That's what our 90 looks like when we get it cut out. Because we know when we get up here, we need to run along with the roof. So that's going to allow it to bend down. It'll look ugly as, it'll look like a booger on a pretty woman when we get it done. Don't matter as long as it fits. All right, let's see how screwed up it is. Might have to start all over again. All right, guys. I don't know if you ever got started doing something and just didn't want to stop. That's kind of where I was. I didn't realize the camera quit working. I got that piece built. I went ahead and those are really simple to put in. They're just one measurement away, and then you cut them with that angle and put them in. So I got these three in. I want to show you how we do how to do the last one. We've got that one in. So I'll take this piece here. This piece is the last piece I cut. It already has the angle on it. Don't have to do anything with it, but make sure it's good. It's a little bit wonky, so I got to tighten it up. Yeah, so this is how it sits. Now we'll take our tape measure. 36 5/8 to the top of the cut. 36 5/8. 36 4/8, 36 5/8. All right. All right, so the top mark's the same. Yeehaw, make it right. Alrighty, that looks pretty daggone good to me. Alright, so that's how you do that now. I think I've thrown every level I have off on the floor. So, see if I can figure out a way to grab one right quick. You guys get to see how good we did with me all at the same time. Let's see what we got here. I think I'll buy that for $1. And we're touching there. We're touching there. We're a little bit low there. And we're touching there. So, all in all, that's pretty daggum awesome. So, now we're going to go ahead and get the side pieces done. I think I'm going to put one side piece here in the middle and then one set of braces across. And that'll be the top done as far as the framing goes. So pretty excited about that. So let's go ahead and start bending them pieces, or try to see if we got some pieces that are already bent. So let's go look. All right, y'all. We're here working on this last piece. I got that other side done. I'm going to show you how I'm down to my last two pieces of scrap. And I'm going to have to get more metal to do these middle pieces here, but I want to show you how we get this done. That's about where we want it. We're going to have to come down 1 inch. So, you take you a scrap piece, and you make damn sure you don't mess up. We know we got to come down 1 inch, so I'm going to pick it up on top of this 1 inch. That's that cut. So once we cut that off and come down 1 inch, that's where we're going to be. It's 2 inches and a quarter from the front. We're in there like swimwear. So make a quad cab, they said. I'll have it done in a couple of days, they said. What's that little kid say?
A bullshit? A bullshit?
Well, that's where we're at for a couple of days. A bullshit. Well, let's cut this out and see if it's gonna fit. You know what? I got a welder. I bet I can make it fit. I have a welder. I can make it fit. Yeah, I felt that coming on. Well, now what? I think we're done for a minute till I go get another battery. 10,000 RPM will get it done, son. Show you guys what I'm looking at here. Watch how this looks. It don't get no better than that right there. And then whenever you're looking over here, it don't get no better than that. So what I've done here is I've created a perfect roof on an imperfect truck. So I still need to go and put these runners, 3 runners across there to tie this in, but for the most part, that's the framing of the doors, the back of the cab, and the roof structure done. Now it took us about a month to do that, in between getting blown away by a tornado. We didn't really get blown away. We got most of the roof shingles blowed off. We got the windows, a couple of the window seals blowed out, flooded the house, and knocked a tree down. So we had to put new floors in. We're going to be putting a new roof on, which we'll probably show you guys some of that. We had to take a tree out. But I'm really happy with where we're at. We are one step closer to being done. I know it's not going to be too fun putting the sheet metal on the roof, but I want to say the technical parts of this is done. So we're going to end the video there today. Whenever I bring you guys back, I'll probably have this roof completely welded in and ground down and probably painted. You guys probably all know how to do that. It's kind of boring, so I'll probably bring you guys back once I get that done, but we're going to end the video here.
Well, bye.
I don't see no smoke. Go ahead and bump it. All right, we're going to drive it out.